Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to RVD Radio.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Damn a needle! Damn a needle! Damn a needle! Man, assassinate! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! A damn shot straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! You get down to straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I will fly high! 5-star broad blast! You can't stop me! 5-star broad blast! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! It's all about the king of the gang, the balance of power that bends. You can't stop the king of the gang, the balance of power that bends. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. I will levitate, split kick you in the yell. I will decimate, you can prepare for. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show!
Greetings, everybody. Happy October 28th. This never happened again. Let's go to the callers. But first, some stuff to talk about. So, watching headline news today. In case you don't know, that's my number one preferred source of twisted news information. And you know, they have a lot of it repeated the same old shit, but today they had some good stuff on there. They were talking about a subject that we have to bring to this show. And we have to have Officer X involved as well to give the cop perspective. They were talking about the prison system and corrupt law on headline news today. And what was cool about it was they were talking about the you know, how we overuse the prison system. They brought up some damn good points, which I've heard, and we've talked about it a little bit here. They were talking about how India, for example, has 4 times our population. However, we have 5 times their prisoners. So Jane Velez was on, who sometimes can be a little bit annoying, not nearly as annoying as Nancy Grace. I watch the show, but I watch it, you know, and I agree, Nancy. You know, Nancy, do you guys watch Nancy Grace? Everybody calls and says, Nancy, first off, let me tell you, God bless your babies. They're such sweethearts. I love your babies. And she says, oh, thank you so much. I don't deserve all that kindness, you know, but they are wonderful. What was your question, caller? That's Nancy Grace. And she drives me nuts. She drives me nuts. But you know, you get the information there, and you know, she is very driven, and she does really want to stick it to these child pedophiles. But Jane Velez, kind of like the Hispanic version of Nancy Grace, but a little bit more approachable. She's a little cooler, a little soft. Anyway, today she's talking about, she says, our prisons are stuffed with people. We have people who have problems with drugs, and they throw them into jail. And she says, you know, addiction is not cured from incarceration. It's cured with treatment. They come out, they're still fucked up. And she goes on to say, we arrest marijuana patients and people who use marijuana. How ridiculous is that? And the CNN legal advisor, Lisa Bloom, was right there, you know, to say in California we had 78,000 people arrested last year just for possession of marijuana. How many millions and millions of dollars did we waste when, and here's what Lisa Bloom said, when most of us don't care about prosecuting people for marijuana, we think it should be regulated and taxed. And then they had the next guy, representative from law enforcement, saying, well, I agree with Lisa and you, and he said the same thing, you know, and everybody, she had a panel of 4, and they all agreed. And the cop guy, he said, you know, well, in most states across the country, possession of marijuana is like the equivalent of a speeding ticket. You take a cop off the streets for 2 hours to process, you know, writing somebody up. It's a big waste of time. That's why it's so crazy that in Texas you can go to jail for one joint still. I agree, leave it to the states. Yeah, I don't want one awesome power ruling us with tyranny, a big dictatorship. Leave it to the states, but come on, I mean, states, look to your left and look to your right, and, you know, use a little common sense, you know, at least open up, be open-minded, listen to logic. So hats off to Mrs. Jane Velez. Tonight on the Joy Behar show, which is also on that same channel, Headline News, she's going to have the Hulkster on, and he's going to go through some deep shit. I guess he was on Bubba the Love Sponge talking about, and this is hearsay, I didn't get this direct yet. I'm recording the show, I'm going to watch it later, but from what I heard from a reliable source, he was talking about that he was, you know, ready to kill himself. He was, I think, gut in his mouth and everything, you know, over all his recent shit with his wife, and Gladiators was over, his body hurts, all that. So, you know, I can't, you know, I wish I could have him on the show and say, well, how much better off could you have been if you were dead? How much better off could your kids have been? What would that have solved? But I understand depression puts you in a fucked up perspective, a different state of mind. That's why we gotta rise above. We gotta realize that all the power is in the mind, which is another subject we're going to talk about soon, is manifesting our life in our mind. Thoughts become things. That was going to be tonight's episode, and I started writing down all these amazing things. Just last couple of days, I'm just going to write down for the show, you know, things that happen that are coincidences, like things that I think about that end up happening. And I started writing all these ones down, and I was going to share them. And I said, wait a second, we're not doing that tonight. It's Halloween weekend. These people are going out dressed up as killers and monsters, and they're going to get sugar and candy to rot their teeth and party and drink and get in accidents, and yay, Halloween. So, in the theme of the holiday, we will be talking today about ghost stories. That's a good one. It's a good topic for you callers, because I'm guessing a lot of you have your own stories, you know, and yes, I have some that I will share with you, of course, you know, but here's the thing, man. Do you even believe in ghosts? And yes, for sure. I believe in the supernatural. Do I know what it is? No. Do I know that it is somebody who has passed on that can't move to another dimension, that's like stuck here as a spirit? Absolutely. Someone that used to live is immortal? I don't know. That's what I've always believed. It makes sense. And we've been studying ghosts since the beginning of history, and we've put together enough things to make us think that that's probable. Here's one for you, just to blow your mind, because I bet you probably haven't thought about this. What if we label ghosts as the unknown? Okay, there's noises in the other room. There's stuff that gets moved around. Maybe the TV gets turned on, it was off. Ooh, something. There's some kind of unknown energy there. Guess what? Doesn't that kind of sound like God? Guess what? Couldn't that be aliens? This cracks me up when people want to, I know when people talk about aliens, they sound crazy. I don't talk about it a lot, but I do admit that that's just as believable as anything else I've ever heard. All right? Here we are, planet Earth, in the middle of a huge solar system with all these planets, in the middle of a big galaxy, big universe, and the chances that there's some life out there and that could possibly have put us here, whether it created us or not, whether it's still watching us and studying us, hey, maybe. And you ever thought that could be, and that's what God could be, and that's even what spirits could be, could all be labeled as the unknown. People are so afraid of the unknown. They want to come up with something and say, boom, this is what it is. I know what it is. Oh, we have this noise, and I know what it is because tell me your stories. I want to hear them. I got it too. Hey, man, I got my fists up. You want to come swinging at me? Okay. I'm just throwing out a theory there. I'm saying the unknown is the unknown. Having said that, I will also say that I grew up in a haunted house. And I did feel like I knew what the ghost was. I mean, I was told at age 5 that the ghost was Ron. And the thing is, before I moved into that house, Ron had hung himself in our garage. Ooh, maybe you got some stories that you can share with like that, huh? Give me some credibility there. Fucking guy died in our house, right? So I went to school with the guy's family. So that was a little bit awkward, but the whole time I was there, he was like Casper. My parents raised me to never be afraid of it. I would have friends come over and stay at the house. They'd be so spooked out because they know that it's haunted. They'd be waiting for a noise, footsteps, stuff that used to always happen. And when it would happen, they would run out of the house. And we talked about this before. Golly, it sounds familiar. Of course, I've been telling stories like this my whole life. I don't know if I've been sharing them with you, but damn, that sounds really familiar. RVD radio producer. Nikki Starr, what's up?
Holla! Okay, so check this out. We've been on the air for over a year. That's why it sounds familiar, because we did a Halloween show last year. And Ron scares me. That's scary.
Are you serious? When we talked about ghosts and stuff last year?
Totally. Oh, yeah. It's okay, though. It's
Can we
okay.
not be original?
Even people in the chat room. How can you be original? It's Halloween. Come on. It should be a tradition. Every Halloween, we'll talk about this. But I have to ask you a question. Like, were you ever afraid? I believe in ghosts. In fact, I believe in ghosts and demons and entities and auras and whatever, because I know I see them. But were you scared?
I don't remember ever being afraid. Like I said, we moved into that house when I was 5 years old. I was so little, and my parents somehow educated me on it, maybe before I even heard anything or whatever, but the whole time I was there, and a lot of times it was in the garage where the guy hung himself. Like I would hear glass shattering and go out there, and there was no glass anywhere. We'd have footsteps, lots of footsteps. Yeah, I remember Sonia sharing the story last year, as a matter of fact, about when she stayed at my parents' old house there in Battle Creek, and that Ron knocked on the door and woke us up so we wouldn't miss our flight. Because we were oversleeping, and we had to get up. We had to get up because we had a flight to come back home, and for whatever reason we overslept, and someone knocked on the door. We both heard it. I opened up the door. Nobody's there. Mom and Dad aren't even anywhere around, and I'm like, okay, that's just a ghost. That's how it was. That's just Ron. I always was just like he was part of the family. It sounds weird, you know, an adult to reflect upon that, but that's totally how it was.
But see, how cool is it that you weren't afraid? Because you can really... you can gather the information about an entity or a spirit or ghost from the kids, okay? So, or even, you're smart enough to know, I don't know if you've ever been around anything that was scary. You are very smart, actually. But, if you've ever been around, there's a difference. There's really ghosts everywhere. I don't care what anybody says. And so you can either live in a house where they stay, like where you were because of what happened to him, or you can live in a town that's old and places you go have those types of things, but they're not very scary. There are some scary ones, though. Some that you can't, names that you might hear that you can't repeat, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
There's some bad ones. Yeah, there's some bad ones.
You brought it up. Here's a little more sharing. The house that we currently live in seems to be haunted. There's some kind of energy in here besides me and Sonia and Zena, and I don't know what it is, but I feel it. I feel the energy. It's usually in a different room. You know, it's not. I don't feel it in my room. When I'm in the office it's in the living room. When I'm in the living room, it's in the kitchen. It does that a lot, and it makes noises. And I talk to it. When I'm home alone, a lot of times I'll just be about to walk into a room, and I hear a noise, and I go, aha, I caught you. And I don't see I run in there, I don't see anything, and I'll be like, all right, and normally, it's just like, all right, whatever, if you want me to, if you're trying to get a message to me, you're going to have to try harder than that. But there was a little time where the energy turned kind of bad, and there was some things that felt like we were having pranks put on us.
Right.
And it started by things on the counter, like Sonia put the coffee pot and the coffee, over here on the counter, and then it got like moved all around and stuff, and she put it back. And, it started with stuff like that. But then it started getting to where it felt, without getting into details, it felt like
No, I know.
unfriendly. And so, we talked to this lady, a mother of Sonia's friend, who's this psychic lady. She called to tell us, and I've never met the lady still, but I'm dying to meet her. I'm like, Sonia, please, can I meet Becky's mom? She called us to tell us that there was a bad energy in her house.
Get out.
That's when you get a lot of credibility when it's like that. That's just like people don't believe in chiropractors because they've got ripped off before. When I go to my chiropractor, he tells me what's wrong with me. I go there and he does his little test and he'll say, "Wow, Rob, you threw your shoulder out. That's a little different." And that to me says, yeah, he knows what he's doing. This lady
because you
called,
didn't say. Yep.
Right. So this lady called, and she says that your house is like a gathering place for spirits. She says it's like a tavern, like a nightclub. And she says that there was someone in our house that was negative, that was attracting negative energy too, and it was all like this weird experience. She told us how to get rid of it. And it was just really it was really weird. And she said that she can't wait to come over and look through our house. And one room in particular, she said there's like this glowing light, and she wants to come over and see what it is. And that was months and months ago. And I still want to get her over here, and I've been trying, just haven't been able to do it yet. But stuff like that is amazing. And like I said, there is definitely something here, But do I know that it's someone that used to be alive and it's like a passing spirit?
Maybe not. Right.
No. Could it be aliens?
Right.
Could it be God? Could it be anything? Could it, could I be an experiment, like in a little fish aquarium, being watched? People in another dimension? Who the fuck knows? That's why it's all energy.
Yeah,
we're all energy. And we're all
okay, I was just going to say that. If you're naive enough to think that there's nothing else besides what we can see, okay, even though you can look at an X-ray and you can see other things, okay, and you know that you have to, if you know anything about physics, you know that if you put your hands together, you can feel the heat between them, okay? You know what I mean, like your palms, all right? That's just one little tiny bit of the energy. And so the fact of the matter is, oh, well, I don't have those, so I don't feel it, but the fact of the matter is there's so much more bigger than we know. And it's not even really a matter of like opening your mind. It's a matter of just not being that naive. I really think that how could you ever think that we are just it? Don't you think that's pretty narcissistic?
Yeah, it is, but also it's going with what we know for sure. There's different perspectives. Like if we go with what we know for sure, all I know for sure that exists right now is me in this room around me, this office. For all I know, everything could be created and thrown together right before I step into the next room. Sometimes that's narcissistic too also, but I have taken that perspective, like maybe I'm the experiment and everyone else is just extras in life.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. But I don't know, and if that is the deal, then ultimately the game's over when I die, and along the way there'll be many, many other deaths. And really, when I die, that probably is it for me. So my game will be over. So as far as I'm concerned, I was right. It's weird, What about ghosts? You ever have any ghosts?
Yeah, several. Yeah, I've had ghosts and I've had demons, and like, so it's okay to talk about the ghosts because there's really no issue with them. Like my grandpa, my papa, he died when I was 16, and he's with me a lot. Okay. Not where I moved, and it's really bizarre. Like I moved about 2 months ago, and he finally had just gotten to where I was at the last place for 2 years. but not here yet. But I'll know when he gets here. I know it's kind of weird, and I know it's kind of weird, but he does. Like, he's really there with me, and he watches over me. So maybe that's not a ghost. Maybe that's an angel. I don't know. However, I've had my share of demon stuff that, I don't like, so.
Right, yeah. And, you know, I mean, some people will totally not relate at all. We'll have some people that probably don't. But then again, they're probably not listening to RVD radio, right?
It's true, because the people who do listen to RVD radio are open-minded. And I think what happens is this, okay? It's funny, if you're looking at the chat, you'll get Matt Denton on, and he absolutely doesn't believe in ghosts or demons or anything, okay? And so I think that people do that who are maybe not afraid, but like me, I can open my mind to different things, even reincarnation. I don't know who God is. I don't. I'm just saying, don't be mad at me, y'all. I don't, okay?
You're
so
just saying Matt Denton.
Oh,
you're saying?
He's actually on the line, too, but he's
I
saying
know.
no, ghosts don't exist and blah, 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 blah. Well, why? Why don't they exist? You know?
But is it possible it could be right?
Maybe, but then what are we, crazy?
Exactly.
Seriously.
That's it. But you go with what you know, and I know that there's, you know, another energy in this house, you know, and I feel it, and
yes.
I haven't seen it here, but yeah, my whole life has been that way. I've been more open to spirituality, and I have psychic people that can sense off of me. You know, they'll say, "Did you know you're clairvoyant?" I'm like, "Yeah, motherfucker, I know that shit." All right. Well, I'm going to go to Matt and give him a chance to explain.
Good, because I want to hear what he has to say. Officer X is on, too, and Harry.
I know, I see that. You got to go take that call. Or you already did. You're multitasking. You're awesome.
Of course I am. I am that good.
I guess so.
I do want to stay on, though, for a little while.
Matt Denton, are you really just afraid?
No. I ain't afraid of nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Not even the spawn of Lucifer can scare me.
That's pretty brave. That's braveness. All right, so what's your take on ghosts? You think that it's all bullshit? Is that true?
No, it's all bullshit, but I just haven't got anything to believe yet.
Okay, that's fair enough. A lot of people are like that. A lot of people. Let me ask you this, because here's a question I got to ask you right off the bat. Do you believe coincidences happen for a reason, or do you blow them off and think that it's just a coincidence, or do you not even have them happen?
No, I had one happen yesterday, in fact. This one's a pretty silly one, but yesterday I had a gas man come around to fit a new fire in, and I was thinking to myself that I'm going to get caught out when the guy comes, and he caught me just as I needed to pee real bad.
Right.
And I thought that was a pretty big coincidence.
Maybe, or maybe you caused that to happen with your thoughts. That's something that we don't know for sure yet either. But all right. Reason I asked, someone like Nunzio, good friend of mine, love little Guido, but when I try and have spiritual conversation with him, he cannot relate. It's just not his thing, you know. And I'll say, dude, don't you? But I mean, I study life, and I'll tell him what happened that day, and I'll explain to him my path and how I was guided through my way with bumpers on both sides, and I'll explain it, and I got goosebumps. Like, isn't that amazing? And he'll be like, I don't really have that happen to me. and that's just it. Some people are like that. I think it's in perspective. I used to think growing up, I always felt like I was something special. I knew I was a chosen one. You know, I always felt like that. I felt like I had a guardian angel, something guiding me. And now, as an adult, I think there's a pretty good chance that everybody is supposed to be like that. It just has to do with that inner connection to the divine, you know, to God, however you want to put it, and that we all have a chance of being plugged in and living in the magic of life. Officer X, you got to agree, am I right?
I'm with you, brother, 110% on that.
I haven't got rid of that yet. Sonya hates it, and she's not here.
Officer X, motherfucker!
Well,
don't talk over the Officer X, motherfucker, please.
No hablo español.
Sí, yo hablo español, pero mi esposa está aprendiendo ahora.
Yo hombre, Harry Slash, yo hombre, Harry Slash, mucho grande idiota.
Officer X, you sound like shit. Are you talking on a walkie-talkie in the cop car?
No, I'm off tonight. I'm fucking laying on the couch watching these fucking Yankees and Phillies play.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know a whole lot about that, but I can relate to a little Yankee on the couch. Officer X, motherfucker, what about ghosts, man? Halloween's coming up. People like to celebrate the eerie. There's demons, and they tie sheets up to look like ghosts, and they hang them from their trees. And, dude, by the way, they did a Sarah Palin and hung her from a tree last year. It was, like, ridiculously controversial. They had all these cameras there and stuff. Like, that's just wrong. But it was awesome. Officer X,
Yeah,
I know you're a spiritual guy. I know you're in tune with the divine. What do you think about ghosts?
110% exist.
Yeah, do you have them in your life? Do you have interaction with them?
No,
have
but
you?
from time to time, I've felt presence in places that I can give you this one. Remember I told you my cousin died a few years ago, and we were at the cemetery putting him in the ground, and I could feel my mother there. I could feel her, I could smell her, I knew she was there. 110%, I knew she was there, and it was almost eerie, but I'm awake. I know what's going on. I could feel it.
Sometimes you get signs. You ask for it, and you get a sign, and that's eerie. But since you brought up a cemetery, that is a damn good point. I don't think I had this conversation with anybody, but it's always a thought in my mind. And Matt Denton, you're still allowed to give your opinion from across the pond, or Florida, whatever. There's still a lot of ponds. It's fucking swampland there. Anyway.
I'm not in Florida. I'm in
the UK.
you
should be, dude. Why not?
Where are you?
I really wish I was in Florida right now instead of this crap heap that I'm in, but
And where are you?
I'm in London.
So
are you going to the
Doncaster?
Are you going to the Doncaster show that RVD is going to be at on November the 15th?
I wish.
How far is that for you?
It's pretty far.
Oh, okay.
A couple hundred miles. So
I am the whole fucking show,
So, yeah.
What part of England are you from?
I'm from London.
RVD, motherfucker!
Who do you like, Manchester United?
No. God, I hate football.
West Ham?
Or soccer or whatever. No.
All right,
no
Officer X, you already told us last week that you prefer marijuana over alcohol. Harry Slash gave us the sound bite. And, hey, so check this out. Here's the thing with cemeteries, all right? I don't go to them. When I was real little, and you follow mom and dad wherever they take you, that would be part of our traditional mourning of the passing. We would go and visit, I don't know, who did we visit? I guess, did we visit my grandpa's grave? Honestly, I don't even know, but I remember sometimes going to a cemetery with my parents because you're in town, you stop by, you say hi, you pretend like you're having a conversation, with the dead, like you're there looking at this stone in the ground where the body is hopefully buried under, and you're talking to it, and here's the thing, why do you have to go to the spot where the body is buried to talk to that spirit? Do you think the spirit is like anchored to the body and does nothing but hang out year after year around the cemetery plot saying, God, I wish somebody would visit me. I'm so fucking lonely. Because that would be a horrible thought to think that, like maybe it's true, maybe
no, but it's funny you say that because I still do that shit. Right?
Do you think about it like I'm saying, though, or am I just...
But this is... No, you're onto something, right? You're onto something, because I don't think you have to go to a cemetery to visit to have an interaction with somebody's spirit, because you can do that any time, place, right? But I do it. Like, I live 100 miles from where my mother's buried, right? And every time I go back to where I grew up, most of the time I stop by, and I just stop by just so I can consciously, think about stuff, right? But you look 3 or 4 stones over, and you'll see, like, where... say a guy died, and then his wife, say a woman dies, then 6 years later you read that the guy died, and all of a sudden there's all these bushes that are overgrown because the guy probably planted the shrub there for his wife, and he died. There's no one to take care of the fucking shrub. So what's the matter,
What is it? Yeah, I'll tell you, I moved to Los Angeles. My friend Louis Spicoli lived here. I came here to visit him. I looked around. I loved the town. I said, Louis, I'm coming back, man. I came and I moved here. I relocated to Los Angeles, but Louis had passed away, so he didn't live long enough for me to move here. However, he's buried fucking right down the street from where I live. Like, it's literally like my part of town. It's on my hill. That's where a cemetery is, and I never ever go there. And it wasn't like, I meant to at first, I intended to, told his family and stuff, yeah, let's go. It's, hey, it's the year anniversary since he died or whatever. Let's go, burn one and hang out at his grave or whatever. And really, when you really step outside the box into RVD world and you think about it, it's kind of weird. I mean, the spirit, is the spirit with you in the house? Is it following you around wherever you go anyway? Because if so, the spirit don't want to go and say, fuck, I'm buried there, Let's go back and see family. I don't know. I have a ton of callers, so hang on. I'm going to try and
stop by there, man, and see if you get any energy off the trip.
What's that?
You should just, for the fuck of it, stop by Louis' grave, right? Sit there for 10 minutes and just breathe and see if you get any energy off the trip. What's 10 minutes out of your life?
I don't avoid it, it's just I haven't, I don't go, I don't feel the need. I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe it wouldn't just feel like it's me on ground with dead bodies. I went to the one up in Hollywood and marked out a little bit, the one on Melrose where all the old Rudolph Valentino and fucking all the Hollywood legends are buried and stuff. I went in there, and that's supposed to be haunted, It's a matter of fact, that's a big deal this weekend. I should see what's going on Halloween up there. Dario from Chicago, thanks for calling, dude. I'm going to try and blow through some of these callers real quick before they start hanging up on me. What up, Dario?
It's all good, man. What's up with you?
Man, I got a good show tonight, I think. I got a whole bunch of callers. Don't have SVD with me, but we'll call her towards the end and get her to close the show. I think a lot of people can relate to ghosts. You got any ghost stories you want to share?
Definitely. I mean, the house I grew up in, there was also a lady that died there. She died in the attic from heat exhaustion. She died during the summer. And later on, what me and my friends did, we were always playing with the Ouija board. So up in the attic, we played with it. We definitely found a connection with her. She told us how she died and everything. And, yeah, there's definitely other things out there. You can't just assume that once people die, that's it, that you're gone. There's definitely something after that.
Wow. Well, thanks for that story. That's something, man. The Ouija boards. I remember one time a kid went up and he wanted to play with the Ouija board in my house since my house was haunted. And we pulled it out. We got it at a garage sale. And he was shaking so bad because he was so scared. He wouldn't touch the little triangle. Like, you're supposed to rest your fingers on it. I had mine on it, and it was so funny. It was like he was working, like a test of strength. He'd get close and back off, close and back off. And he got just down, and he just touched it, and he got up because I don't want to do this. And he left. And, wow, the Ouija boards are something. But so, yeah, he says there's definitely something there. Then you wonder if you're a ghost, I mean, do you have power? Why can you talk to the Other Side? You ever watch that show? The Other Side with oh my God, what just happened? Nikki Starr. Did I just get kicked out? Hey, you guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a bitch if you couldn't hear me. I don't even know what to do. I'm totally lost. I don't see my switchboard anymore. Nikki Starr, I need help. I don't know what just happened, but we were jamming. So yeah, they're crossing over with, what is it? Not Ed Norton. What the fuck is that guy's name? Someone tell me in the chat room, who's the crossing over guy? Since I don't know how to. Hey, what do I got to do I got to sign back in my?
No, just refresh.
Hey, call Sean up. He's always good with this spirit shit.
Dude, I got so many callers on the line right now, Officer X. I just got to try and
go
through them, and I lost it.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just help him right quick. Okay, just exit out of the switchboard and then just go right back to my Blog Talk Radio.
Ooh, I closed the,
It doesn't matter. Whatever you close, just go back in, and it'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Go to my account.
Okay, so Officer X, let me ask you a question right quick while he's getting back into his account. Have you had any experiences?
Let me ask you a question. What are you wearing tonight, baby?
God.
So uncomfortable.
What are you thinking?
Okay, so you missed her on the couch. Have you had any experiences besides your mom, like somebody that you don't know? Because the chat room is very cynical, just so you know. And the number one cynical person is Psychosis, who's Demos, and he's being a butthead. Because he knows that he has seen entities, but he's playing devil's advocate. He's saying that if you really wish, like he says, I want to see my papa really bad, so that's why I feel him around me. That's not true. It doesn't happen when I'm really thinking about him. It actually happens when I'm not. You know, it's not anxiety and it's not hallucination.
Dude, that crossing over show, I can't, I almost want to Google the guy's name, but anyway, he has a convincing show. My friend Bobby Duncan Jr.'s wife ended up going on his show purely, you know, by chance. Like she was staying at a hotel and they had this TV taping there, and they gave her some tickets or whatever. And anyway, she ended up not even knowing what it was. She went on the show with her little daughter, and this guy like zeroes in on her through the crowd and starts saying, "Okay, who over here lost someone?" You know, and starts like saying all kinds of like nicknames and little things, you know, and it was just so weird. Like I watched the show, and it was weird because like Bobby, when he would put his wrestling tights on, he would call it a Superman outfit, you know, and so the guy's saying something about a Superman outfit, and they're like, oh my God, you know, and it was real sad. And he had a message, something for his daughter, you know, about you know, he still loves you. He made a mistake or something, which Bobby OD'd, you know, and it was really, really chilling to watch. That guy is insane. And when you watch it on TV, you wonder if that show is all set up because he's so good. But I know somebody that was on it wasn't set up. Got my switchboard back.
Yay! Okay.
I don't know what she was calling you for.
I still don't have the guy's name.
He always calls around then.
John Edward.
John Edward, thank you. Great. John Edward, shit, man. I don't know what his deal is.
9:30.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, Officer X,
I think you
shut
need
the
to
fuck
remind
up.
Officer X is on the air.
What?
Officer X, I'm putting you on mute, man. He's laying there on the couch, with that heat energy from his hand on his nutbag, like you were talking about, and he's dialing. He's dialing the sex lines, and we got to hear it. He's like, what are you wearing, baby? Yeah? Well, you going to be around? All right. Michael Porter, you, sir, are on RVD Radio.
Hey, Rob. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How was the RVD interview on Sunday? Was it the all-time new record?
Not yet, but, you know, it was back
Blame it on the economy.
Well, not just that, but remember, we were on in March before, so we've got a lot of time to catch up to it, but we've had some really good numbers so far.
Indeed, of course you have. Share a ghost story with us.
Okay, I was in the hospital, and evidently, at one point when I was in the hospital, I looked over in the corner of the room and I saw my late mother. She was smiling. And I almost took it that it was my time to go and that she was coming to be with me when I passed. I remember looking at the clock. It was around 11 o'clock. Then the next day, my doctor came in and to have a discussion with me about something that had happened the night before. And I told him about that. I had seen my mother, and it was about 11 o'clock, and he turned white, pardon the pun, as white as a ghost, because evidently right at about 11 o'clock, my vitals stopped.
Ooh,
and
that is a good one.
They had to give me the paddles a couple times, and I still had burn marks, you know. I was kind of wondering why I was sore, but it happened right at 11 o'clock, and I guess it was my mom, instead of taking me with her, was trying to let me know that I was going to be fine.
Wow, that is a hell of a story. What a gift, huh? To be able, you know, I mean, you know how many people wish they could fucking have that last chance, you know, to say goodbye or whatever. It's fucking awesome.
You know, the odd part is here the last year or so, when, you know, things have been going kind of rough, and I've had a lot of dreams with my mother in the dreams, and we're doing things that we used to do often. Like she would love to go to Reno, so I would take her to Reno. In the dreams, we've gone to Reno. In the dreams, my mom was fine. She was walking fine. She was talking fine. She was not in ill health. She was getting along better than I was, in fact. in so many of these dreams. And I kind of wonder, if I was to talk with somebody about, who would explain dreams, what these dreams actually meant. Does that mean
she's telling you she's okay and you're going to be okay?
Well, I would like to think that. I would definitely like to think that. Well, I appreciate that. I do, but I'll guarantee you, when the doctor turned white and he told me what had happened, that my vitals had ceased, and they had to do what they did. That made me think a lot about the afterlife.
Made a believer out of you, didn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, I've been a believer for a long time. I believe in a lot of these. What you were talking about earlier about unknown. I believe if just because it's unknown doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Right. If science can't explain it, it doesn't exist. That's what
exactly.
they teach you in school.
Well, that's
bullshit.
No, they're full of shit, because you think about this spirituality or God or higher power, whatever you want to call it. It's the incomprehensible mystery, yet everywhere obvious.
There you go. Put that on a T-shirt. Joven from Michigan. You're on RVD Radio.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, what up, dude? Thanks for calling. Is it freezing in Michigan?
Oh, man, don't even get me started.
75 degrees and sunny today in California, just so you know.
Oh, yeah, I heard you moved to Los Angeles.
Yes, sir. I do not enjoy the change of seasons. In fact, even here, I'm not protected from it because even though the weather doesn't get real bad and I don't have to see leaves dry up and die, I don't have to rake leaves or shovel snow, the holidays still bring me back. They're just the pumpkins, and then now they're decorating Christmas trees already in the malls. It just, I don't know, man. It stresses me out. It's just like, it's depressing to me, like that New Year's song, "May all the good times be forgot" or whatever. It's, I could do without. I like my routine.
We've been trying to get out of Michigan for the past 3 years. That hasn't worked out. We've been stuck in this big, white, crazy house, man, in Flint.
Well, at least you'll be there if I come up there to visit. Is that house in Flint haunted?
Oh, man. We live around the corner from, like, one haunted house, one maybe 2 haunted houses. Well, there's one that's been rumored that's haunted, but one that's for sure to be haunted.
Right.
You know?
Right. You got any stories?
Yeah. It's about that house, actually. And me and my cousin and my best friend, we were skateboarding up the street, looked at the house, and then we just fell off our skateboard. Well, me and my cousin did. So then we looked at the house. The blinds were moving. The house was completely vacant. Nobody was living there.
Right.
Apparently some lady and her son got into it, like, in the 1920s, and the son killed his mom. He ran away to Tennessee, and he bludgeoned her with a bookend. He didn't know that she was dead. So she's been haunting the house for the last couple decades, man.
Wow.
You know, and so we looked at the house one day. We went to the backyard. There was, a light flickering on and off in the, shed. So we got scared. I ran up the driveway. My cousin ran all the way back to the house. My best friend, he pretty much peed his pants, man. I'm dead serious. He was so scared he couldn't sleep that night, so he had to call his mom to go home. And when we looked at the house, there was a big hole in the window. We heard noises like, apparently a bookshelf was knocked down when the people had saw when they moved in. I was like, wow, dude. And then it was in the paper a couple months later about how it was haunted. Some people moved in. Some stuff appeared missing, broken, and then a door was slammed. And,
wow. So yeah, I think it can be friendly or not friendly. It doesn't. You know what I mean? Like this energy that's in my house, I don't mind it. I never do. Except that one short little time where shit was getting like mischievous, and we felt like it was like a bad energy. In fact, that's why we put up security cameras in our house. Was just because of that, which... Did
you catch any shit on the security cameras?
Probably not. There's one thing that looked really weird that we can't explain. It was like a glowing like little bulb that was dancing all over the fucking camera for that night that the car hit our sauna. We were watching the footage of that, and there was like a little ball, there was like a little musical ball, like the little one that shows you to keep along with the words to say you are the wind beneath my ring. I did that for Harry Slash. She's laughing. And but anyway, it was weird. And we're watching it dance around. We don't know what it was. It was just a glowing ball. Maybe not. It's probably still on my security camera. I don't know. But thanks for sharing that, Jobin. That's a damn good story. And I'm going to go on and get Harry Slash on the phone because he's my next caller. What up, Harry Slash?
Mexican donkey porn. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong topic.
Right. Wrong topic. So what up? How are you?
Oh, all good here in New York. Just working on the new record. Usual stuff.
Cool. Nikki Starr, I cannot believe we've been on for a fucking year. She says we've been on for a year already. Isn't that crazy?
When she told me the topic, I'm like, man, I must be really high because I think we just did this topic.
Well, refresh our memory. When we did the topic last year, did Harry Slash have any interesting ghostly stories to share?
Well, yeah, there was a couple, I think. I must have told a story about the Limelight, the club here in New York that used to be a church and was converted into, like, one of the most decadent, hedonistic clubs of all time. Officer X, you know about the club I'm talking about, I'm sure.
Philly's just sitting on the home run.
Who cares? Oh.
Well, the Limelight was notorious for ghosts because so many people had died there. One of the cardinals of the church, I think, was actually still entombed underneath the stage where the bands played. Like, his body was actually under the stage, in the cement. So there was a lot of freaky shit that happened there. A lot of people I know that work security during the day, they said if they heard a noise, they never investigated twice.
Wow.
There was one bartender that worked there that quit the same day that she started because somebody kept tapping her on the shoulders all night and there was nobody behind her.
Right.
You know,
girls don't like that shit.
Yeah, well, especially when there's nobody behind you.
Exactly. That's really gets them.
There was stories. Now, I actually experienced, I didn't see a ghost in there at all, but the very back of the club where it used to be the bell tower of the church, a 12-year-old kid had fallen off the bell tower when it was still a church and died there and supposedly haunted that area. And one night as a goof, I brought, I think it was either a yo-yo or one of those little rubber balls, something I bought from those bubblegum machines, a toy, and I left it up there. I went up there to have a smoke. On my way down the stairs, I realized I forgot my lighter. I went up to get my lighter, which was right next to the yo-yo. The lighter was still there, but the toy...
Were you smoking marijuana?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but it hadn't kicked in yet, so you can't attribute to that.
Just wondering what you were smoking.
Well, it wouldn't have been a cigarette. You could have smoked that anywhere back then.
Yeah, but you might have wanted to smoke up on the bell tower.
Well, yeah, there were a couple of times you just wanted to do it because nobody else really knew about that. I think Heyman knew about it and a few other people. It was like a part of the club where if you wanted privacy, not too many people knew about it. And those that did got kind of freaked out when they'd hear the sounds of, like, bouncing balls and, you know, stuff around that you really shouldn't have been hearing. It was known for strange noises, even though there was nobody around.
Right on. Yeah, they'll fucking do that, man. They'll do that. Hey, Officer X, what'd you say the Phillies were doing?
He's sitting on the home run. So
I don't give a fuck.
Nikki, hey man, you're on RVD Radio.
Good evening, Gunmeister.
Like that, huh, Harry?
Yeah.
Can you believe it's been a fucking year and we're doing the same show as last year?
I think I remember doing this show.
Holy cow. There's been a lot of scary monster horror movies since then and shit that have freaked people out. We couldn't have known about them back then. Ghosts. Ooh. What's your take on them, Nikki Heyman?
Well, I had a coworker when I was still down in Florida who told me that I had a guardian spirit that was always standing at my right side. And when she would start talking about him, this might be psychosomatic, but I would actually feel somebody hitting my arm.
Yeah, so, I have no doubt that I have had a guardian angel or God or a ghost or something guiding me through my entire life. I've always known that, and I've always said it. What bothers me is to try to pretend I know more about it than I do. When I went to this yoga class, and the lady was saying, you know, like, close your eyes and concentrate and feel the warmth of Archangel Michael, watch Genovia. I'm like, who? Who the fuck? Hey, wait, you could be offending somebody. You know, who the fuck is Archangel Michael? And I left. I could never go back. You know, the unknown is the fucking unknown.
It took a long time before I found out. She told me what he looked like, and then another gal I met some years later managed to get his name, because I can sense him, but I can't hear him, and I can't see him. But
yeah, it's always different. Now, I never saw the ghost that I grew up with. Heard plenty of times, felt. I never felt him physically. My brother said he felt, you know, a hand grabbing his leg. My mom says she saw something one time, and I did see things move, you know, so I did see that. Chris Masters, which, if we have time later, we'll call him and try and get hold of him, but I got so many callers. But anyway, he lived in a place where the room smelled like somebody was smoking cigarettes in there, and it was weird, and they felt this presence, and then they found out that some lady was killed in there and that she was held there for several days while the person was smoking cigarettes, while she was like tied up and tortured and all this stuff. And they found out watching the news that it was in their very fucking apartment that they were living in, same bedroom that him and his girl were in, and it's so weird. And I'm going to try and talk to him this week on camera for RVD TV about that very thing. We got plans.
Did you guys name the ghost, Rob?
What?
Did you guys name the ghost in your house when you were a kid?
Well, yeah, because the guy hung himself before we moved in, and my parents just always told me that was him, that was like his house, he was still there. And you know, the thing with coincidences and all, I'm sure I told this last year, but one of the more defining actions that happened, this guy hung himself. It was over his wife not paying enough attention to him, whatever. So my dad, and this was after I moved out, when I was already on the road wrestling somewhere, my dad was reading the newspaper, and he said to my mom, it looks like that bitch Eileen got married again. And I shouldn't be using their names. Their families out there, man. But anyway, and he was talking about, you know, somebody saw in the article this, the switchboard's doing weird things again. That is so fucking awesome. Anyway, what happened was he said that the wife of the deceased had gotten married again. He read it out of the paper. Wham! Big fucking crashing, snapping noise happened in the garage right when he read that and called her a bitch. Went out to the garage, and the spring came off of our garage door that opens it up. So my dad, you know, put the spring back on, hooked it back up on the garage door, came inside, and then he started reading again where he left off to my mom. Just wanted to read the story. Wham! Same fucking noise. So what the hell? He went out there on the other side this time too. So we had some pretty crazy shit like that. So we felt like we knew who the ghost was always. It was just attached to the fact that the guy had deceased in our garage. So we did name him, and he was like part of the family. He was a friendly dude, you know. We'd hear shit. He'd be like, hey, what's up, Ron? Hey, what's up, Moises from Maryland? You're on RVD Radio.
Hey, man.
What up? No, Heyman, yes. Nikki Heyman is on as well. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
Nikki Heyman, you been requested?
Yeah, I'm
requested.
What's the question?
All right, everybody at once. I love chaos. Speaking of chaos, we're going to have to call David DeFalco here in a little bit. Director, producer, writer of Chaos, the most brutal movie ever made. Moises, am I saying your name right, dude?
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. Do you have any scary stories you can share with us, man? We don't know if for sure what's going on, but definitely I'm a spiritual person. I know there's shit that science can't explain, and I know there's more to life than we can see. What's your take on it? You got a ghost?
Yeah. One time I was living near a cemetery, right? And then so me and my friend were staying late and watching TV, and I kept feeling someone tapping my ear. So then I got tired of it, and I went to bed. Me and my friend went to bed. and then we hear these dishes breaking at nighttime. So we went down there, and we didn't see anybody. But then we looked in the window, we saw a shadow running. So we went outside, and then we saw a shadow going into the cemetery. So we chased it into the cemetery. We looked around, there was no one there at all. So then we went to tell my mom, and my mom didn't believe us. So, yeah, kind of freaked me out. So we moved away like the next year.
Wow, so yeah, you weren't too cool with that. It kind of freaked you out, huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, right on. Cool, man. You got big plans for Halloween?
Yeah, I'm just going to stay home and watch TV.
Right on. That's probably what I'm going to do, too. That's what I usually do, yeah. All right, cool, man. We'll hang out and listen, and I'm going to go to, well, actually, let me go up here. Bobby's been waiting since the beginning of the show. Oh, it says just listening. That's why I don't take you, Bobby. I'm taking you anyway because I know it's you. Bobby B.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Did you tell Nikki Starr that you're just listening?
Well, I did, and then I got on because I didn't know what the topic was. I wanted to say the topic was before I spoke up.
Oh, okay, because I'm trying to figure out how I miss your call every week. Somehow I skip over it, and then I don't see it. And then after the show, I'm like, oh, I remember seeing Bobby's number, and I just did that again. I realized I skipped over you again, but I know why, because it said just listening, don't pick up. But I picked it up anyway, so how do you like that?
Sweet. Yeah,
See, I can do what I want. It's my fucking show.
Goddamn right. Hey, I was listening to Hulkster today.
RVD, motherfucker!
You heard him on Bubba the Love Sponge?
Hey.
Yeah, you heard him on Bubba the Love Sponge? Is that what you heard?
No, I know what I heard. What I heard was that he said that him and his wife said that he was the only person that ever held the title that wasn't divorced. And I'm going, that's a bunch of BS. You ain't never been divorced.
Ah, thank you very much.
So he's talking
Backlund, too.
Backlund, too?
Yeah, he's been married to the same woman for like 35 years.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know. You could tell me whatever. I don't know, Bruno or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Bruno, too.
I don't know what he's talking about, but...
Huh. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, man.
I don't either.
I know you wanted to get online with Bruce Jingles, and guess what, Bobby B? I don't know if I can take his call yet though, because he's not color. But let me see. Bruce Jingles.
Bobby B, motherfucker!
Hey, Bruce, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. Hey,
I'm here in Paso Robles, California, with my man Skippy Simon. We're gonna do this show here. And Skippy, he's a fucking funny comic. He's a big fan of yours, RVD. Say hello, Skippy.
Hello, Skippy.
phone is fucking Rob Van Dam, Mr. Monday Night, the whole epic show.
Fonzie, motherfucker!
My dad is gonna shit a brick. Oh my fucking God.
Dude, you guys have some crazy static. Bobby B, can you hear that static coming from...
I hear a whole bunch of static.
Dude, it sounds like you're talking on one of them gimmicks pushed up to your throat, Bruce Jingles.
Bruce, he just said something bad about you. You took it off speakerphone, so...
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
No, I had it on speakerphone. I'm hanging out with my friend here, Skippy Simon. We're doing the show in Paso Robles.
All right.
And Skippy's a big fan of yours. Say hello, Skippy.
No, we already fucking did that, man.
Yeah, we already said I don't want to say hi to him again. Jesus Christ, I don't want to wear my welcome. Fuck, Bruce. Jesus Christ, man. Fucking hey.
What the fuck, Bruce?
I don't want to talk to these cocksuckers, but you have to.
Hey, we need to mute Bruce. He's going to have to call back in. There's something with his line that's messing us up.
You're killing our conversation. Oh, my God, I just lost it. Okay, cool. Dude, you got booted. Nikki kicked you off. That's awesome. Nikki bounced Bruce Jingles the fuck out of here, man.
I told him earlier when he called that his line was horrible and he needed to try to call back in, and then when he did call back in, it was bad.
Hey, we gotta get that sound cut from Goodfellas.
That what?
The sound cut from Goodfellas.
What is it?
Now go get your fucking shine box.
Oh, right. That's a classico. Duke Heck. I don't know how to say that, dude. From Washington, D.C. Duke Cut?
There's Duke CT.
Duke CT. Okay. If I had a space in there, it might have been. Well, oh, man, you sound like Bruce Jingles. What's wrong with your phone now?
Me?
Yeah, you got some static going on. Not nearly as bad as Bruce, but yeah, when you're talking, it's coming with some snap, crackle, and pop.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Hey, I'm a big fan of Rice Krispies, man. I grew up in Battle Creek, right up the street from the mills.
Oh, man.
Although now that Kellogg's canceled their endorsement of Michael Phelps, let me just break the conversation to allow everyone to know I no longer buy Kellogg's. Okay, so what up, Duke? You got some ghost stories?
Yeah. The house I'm living in right now, it's like a weird type of presence and everything else.
Hold on a second. I gotta ask the judge, Nikki Starr. What do you think, man? This one's rough. I gotta take Nikki
Mute
off.
it. Well,
man, I'll just move out, man. I'm sorry, man. I'll get a better phone.
All right, man. Thanks for the call.
All right.
That's awesome. Dude, you're our new bouncer, Nikki Starr. I like it. You're
because, yes, I'm a badass. All right. But I just want you to know that when I talk to them, before I put them on, I tell them that they have a really crackly line and they need to call back. And then they say, okay, well, I'll just move my head or whatever. But it didn't work. So.
Okay. Well, now I know that.
All right. Did you get
Tommy Rogers
Harry?
is calling. Let me see if I can put this on. Wait, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna try something that I'm probably gonna hang up. Hello?
Hello?
What's up, my brother?
Hello?
Dude, hey, hold on a second. Tommy Rogers, you're on RVD Radio, motherfucker.
Well, let me tell you something. The whole effing show. Haven't seen the Fantastics in the ring with you yet, have we?
We've never been in the ring together, no.
No, I'm coming in tonight, so I'll give you a call.
You're coming into L.A.?
Yeah, I'm going to be at the Fernham Durham. I'll call you when I get there.
Okay, that's awesome, but hold on. Just so you know, Officer X, say something.
Who?
Wait, hold on a second. Harry Slash, say something.
Let me get off speaker.
Dude, I swear you're on RVD Radio.
Well, okay, I believe you.
Somebody say something.
Hey, what's
Who am I talking to?
Well, I'm trying to find out if I put the conference call on correctly because...
yeah. I can never do that correctly.
No, but I thought that I did, and if Harry Slash, give me a confirmation.
Something. Harry Slash, are you there?
Harry Slash, say something.
Yo, can you hear me? Yeah, I can barely hear you, Harry.
Did you hear Harry say something?
Yeah, barely I heard it.
Bobby B, say something.
Hey, Rob, are you there, buddy? Can you hear me?
Okay, Bobby B, I got it now. Okay, I did do it right. I was thinking, fuck, man, all this time I'm talking to Tommy, I might have my radio show on hold. Phew. All right, I almost got a little bit nervous there. So you called, and I actually conferenced it in for the first time correctly ever, so now you're part of the RVD radio show. How's that make you feel?
Well, that makes me feel like fantastic. No pun intended.
Yeah, awesome.
Tommy Rogers, motherfucker.
Yes, I'll plug me right now.
RVD, motherfucker.
So who's on the other end? What's his name?
Well, right now we have Michael Porter, and we have my friend Bobby B, and Harry Slash. Nikki Heyman is on the line, and we got a list of callers actually to go through. Fonzie will probably call. He usually calls sometime around this time. He said he'll be calling in tonight. But we're talking about ghost stories. You got any, Halloween's coming up this weekend, and everybody's getting in the theme. Do you have any stories, like either from when you were a kid or maybe a haunted house you lived by? Or
so many great memories of Halloween.
How about a Hawaiian ghost? That'd be awesome.
That was back in the 60s, Rob, when, we didn't get candy. We was lucky to get a biscuit.
A biscuit?
They didn't put a sandwich bag around it. They just threw it in a bowl. As old as I am, I'm old school.
I remember when I was trick-or-treating, and there was a real big scare because somebody put needles in the candy, so you had to get it x-rayed and shit. What kind of a sick fuck is that that's going to put needles in little kids' candy?
You're talking about sticking a two-sided razor blade like we used to use and stick it in an apple and give it to a kid. Yeah. trying
I want to ask Officer X how big of a problem that is for him, but he seems to have fucking gone. Fuck him. He can't leave. I gotta get.
Okay, I have something to say about that. I would like to take a poll.
Right. Hold on, Tommy. What's up, Nikki?
Sorry. Okay, so check this out. Do you know anybody who ever got a needle or a razor blade in any of their candy?
Oh, you think it's like an urban legend?
Totally an urban legend. Totally.
Whatever your name is.
Nikki Starr, RVD radio producer Nikki Starr, Tommy Rogers.
Aloha.
Hi, Tommy.
Starr from area code 808 in beautiful, lovely Waikiki Beach.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Hey guys.
Mahalo.
So you do know somebody, Tommy, that actually got a razor blade in their fucking candy?
Yeah. Well, where I come from in Florida, yeah. I think it wasn't a girl. I think it was a little boy, and it was in the paper. And we just went, just to visualize that alone, to do that to a little kid, but to visualize biting into a two-sided razor blade, those old shit kind, where you used to put the blade in and have to screw the bottom, and the big thing shut down on it. So yeah. So I did. My dad actually.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he knew this person too well, does it, Nikki?
Thank you. Not at all. That's what I'm saying.
But it definitely happened.
Right.
Are you saying I'm a liar now?
No, not at all. I'm just saying maybe it was put into our minds, like as kids, maybe it was just a myth, but I don't know. I mean, the cops went through a lot of trouble to do a lot of x-rays and shit, right?
I just want to know. All I'm asking is this panel, do you know anybody who had it happen?
Yeah, no, I don't know anybody, thank goodness. But and I see that Fonzie called, so I know that Tommy's going to want to talk to Fonzie. But let me real quick say this, since we're talking about doing sick fucking things to kids. So the latest on the headline news, as I always say every week, a little girl gets killed, and then instantly she's already fucking trumped by the next news story. Instead of it happening once every 50 years, it's a couple times a week. So already we got a new one. Elizabeth Olton, a 9-year-old girl, was fucking on her way walking home, I think from school. She never made it home. 7 o'clock or so, the parents called the cops. For 2 days, they're looking for this girl, and they end up finding a 15-year-old suspect, a girl, that takes them to the body. There's a 15-year-old girl being charged with murder right now for killing a 9-year-old fucking girl.
She dumped her in a garbage bin.
And buried her. No, that was a different one. See, that's a point that I'm making, Tommy. It happens so often they run into each other. The one in the garbage bin, we don't know who did that one yet. I think that's Samantha Runyon. I might be fucking her name up. I probably am, but I am. Samantha Thompson. Anyway, we don't know who did that one yet. This new one happened since then. They're not saying a lot about it. They're not saying the 15-year-old's name that's going to be charged. They're trying to figure out, do they charge her as an adult? Oh, my God. I don't know what happened. And we don't know how she died yet. Of course, they're coming up with all their own, well, I bet it was not a knife or a gun. I bet it was choke. Who the fuck knows? Maybe she was pushed off something high. That I can understand a little bit better, like a kid making a bad judgment call there. But premeditated murder, they're saying she planned it out and shit? What the fuck?
But no, the 15-year-old, that's what I'm talking about. The 15-year-old dumped the body in, a landfill.
Yeah, they said it was covered up very well. Like, they already searched the area and didn't find it one time. So I'm trying to call Officer X back. Fonzie, can I let Fonzie through? Fonzie, Daddy.
Hey, Daddy, what's going on, my brother, RVD?
Fonzie.
Hey,
Tommy Rogers on the line.
Tommy Rogers lives in Waikiki. Look at that Diamond Head every morning.
Dude, you know what?
I just left Diamond Head. Actually, I'm in the Rip Curl dressing room trying to find something warm to come to L.A.
Beautiful. Life is good.
Fonzie kind of sounds like Bruce Jingles and kind of sounds like Duke CT. For some reason, there's a bunch of static in your line, Daddy.
Okay, let me see if I can clear that up. As I'm moving around here, it should be getting better. Is that better?
No.
Oh, sweet.
It sounds pretty bad.
Hey,
you want to try calling right back? Can you do that, Fonzie?
100%.
Thanks, Daddy. All Officer X, are you back with us now?
I'm back, man. I'm back.
All right. We got a question for you. When you're working the police business, keeping our streets safe on Halloween, how big of a danger is it to have the kids' candy stuffed with razor blades or pins or needles and shit?
Minute. The problem is the robberies. Halloween is the worst night of the year to work because people rob stores because it's common to see people in costumes and they rob kids of their candy and stuff and break into things because people's security levels down because people are wandering around the neighborhoods.
Just because it's a night of chaos, right?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Right on. All right, let's see if...
I remember my first year doing it, some guy strapped the cruiser up with paintballs.
If people dress up, they can dress up, and you don't know who they are.
Right.
I mean, if they got a costume on, makeup on, a wig on, like, and you don't know who they are.
Right, that's why there's some weird sex freaks that dress up in stuffed animal outfits and have furry orgies.
Yeah.
Well, dude, come on.
I mean, I grew up in the era, bro, and I hope and pray that the era comes back. And
They didn't do that back with the Flintstones?
That kids and women could go away, but...
Right on. Hey, Fonzie, let's hear how you sound, Eddie.
I should be sounding fantastic now.
You sound so fucking good.
Beautiful.
What's up, Fonzie?
That's
Fonzie, motherfucker!
That's right, Daddy.
Happy.
Fonzie's back. He's not so staticky.
Right. He's staticky clean. Dude, Fonzie, so we're doing this show. We've been on for a fucking year already, and we already did a Halloween show last year, but it's coming up. People are excited about it. They're geared towards partying and fucking trick-or-treating and being crazy, whatever they do, and it's all to celebrate demons and ghosts and spirits and monsters and shit. So, you got any ghost stories you can share with us, Fonzie?
Yeah, I have one that's kind of interesting, and I think it's a shoot because I was there. Me and two buddies, we were about 11, 12, 13 years old apart. You know, I was 11, and the other guy was 12. And we were at Hillsborough River in Tampa, and we were like camping out, fishing all night. We had fell asleep, had a little campfire and everything, and I kept hearing like a slapping sound, like slapping your, like if you go to reach for some candy, somebody would smack your hand. We kept hearing that sound, and me and the other guy woke up and looked at our other friend who was sleeping, and he was like kind of slapping like at his pocket. And when I woke up, I looked on the other side of the, like behind the guy that was slapping his pocket was like two figures, and they looked like little girls. And my friend woke up, and so the next morning, we all got up, and one guy said to me, man, I heard some slapping sound, and I looked towards Randy, and I seen these two figures, and they looked like little girls. And I didn't say that because I had seen the same thing. And then we found out that in 1957, two brothers were fishing, and they had their little sisters sitting on the bank, and they gave them a little bag of chocolate candy to keep them occupied on the bank so they wouldn't get close to the water. And the two older brothers were like, teens were fishing. And somehow the two girls ate the little chocolate. This was in 1957, and they end up drowning. The two boys walked out and they end up drowning there, two girls. And we didn't know anything about it. So about 10 or 12 years later, I'm telling the story to a guy, this old guy, and he said, oh, yeah, in 1957, two young girls drowned. Their brothers gave them chocolate candy to occupy them, and it took their eyes off them, and they ended up drowning. So I didn't tell my friend that I seen these two figures, but he told me, he said, I seen these two figures, but he told me before I told him I seen them too. And the guy that was slapping his hand, that was sleeping, his mother gave him some candy for us, and it was in his pocket. So he was like kind of slapping his pocket. So that's my ghost story.
Wow. All right. Thanks for bringing that one to live RVD Radio.
And that was kind of a shoot. I never would have, but it kind of sounds crazy, but, you know, it's I was there.
My line.
We got a dial tone.
What is that? I have no idea who that is.
Somebody's ringing, RVD.
Please hang up and try again.
All right, let's see. I'll put everybody on mute one at a time. Did it go away?
Yes.
No, let's see.
Mine didn't.
Hang up and then dial your operator.
All right, you know what? I'm going to start with Officer X.
Wow.
All right, I'm putting everybody. Everybody's on mute, and I still can't stop it. That's crazy. Hey, Nikki Starr, I need your help on this one. Dude, it's a ghost!
What the hell
It's
is
haunted.
that? Everybody's muted.
Dude, that's so awesome. There's not one line
Yes.
that's off the hook on the switchboard.
Okay, hang up your three-way. Hang up your three-way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're so smart.
Yeah.
You're so
There you
smart.
go. I know, right?
I thought we were haunted by a
Yeah.
ghost, but it was Tommy Rogers
No.
hanging up on us, and I forgot.
Just hang,
Let's go.
Yeah, just hang up on him. All right, woo. Okay.
Do that.
So
Oh, he's calling back.
motherfucker!
Should I put him on again? Oh, how did I do it? All right, let me see.
Okay,
Hold
so
on.
there's- Okay, I see Officer X, right? Okay. Okay, there's Officer X. You gonna get him? Are you there? Rob Van Dam? Oh, you've got to be kidding.
All right, whatever. I'm on.
Are you
I was
there?
trying to do it. I did it last time.
Don't even try it again.
Wow.
Just hit dial out.
See what happens when Sonia's not here to keep things under control?
God, I so need her because this show is out of control without her.
Tommy's calling back.
RVD, motherfucker!
Wait,
Where is he
I
calling?
think I can do this, though. Watch. Hold.
Okay, just, all right, I'll wait. You try.
RVD.
See, I did it, right, Nikki, sir?
It sounds great.
Okay, I did. Phew. I successfully conferenced the call the second time. Tommy Rogers, I didn't mean to hijack you, dude. I know you probably got shit to do and stuff.
No. You know what it is, Rob? Hawaiian time, it's 4:15. I got 5 minutes to get out of this store and do what I do best, 4:20.
Okay, dude. Well,
All right, bro. Hey, where's Fonz? Are you still on?
Yep,
I'm right here, Daddy.
Hey, buddy. Hey, bro. How's everything, bro?
Life is good. I'm in Tampa Bay, you know what I mean? My body's good, you know.
Well, I want you to come out here and see what I see every day.
I would love to. I'm going to make it out there in the next 700 days. I'll be out there. Before the 2 years are out, I'll be out there.
700 days. I like it. The next 2 years and, well, I guess the next 12 days short of 2 years.
Yeah. It gives me a little time. I love that spot.
All right, so take you 5 minutes to get to my spot. So, hey.
Beautiful. I'll be looking forward to it. I'm counting the days. I am, Tommy. I haven't been out there for a while.
Me too, Tommy. We'll make it out to Hawaii as soon as we can, dude. So, mahalo. Give me a call when you're here in L.A.
Keep bringing up good subjects like that on radio, bro. That's what the world needs, man.
Talopa, Pakalolo.
Pakalolo. Who stole it?
Who stole the fucking dope?
See, I recovered quickly that time. Did I? Somebody say something.
Hello.
You're all fucked up.
Okay, well, see, I don't know, man. I don't know if I hung up or not until you say something, man. All right, so let Fonzie back in, let Officer X back in.
I'm back in?
Yeah, you're in, Bobby.
All right, sweet.
By the way, Michael Porter, you, sir, had, for me, the most amazing story tonight so far. With he died. He was being operated on, and like he saw his mother, who was deceased, in the room and shit. And then it was weird. And then he told the doctor, and the doctor freaked out because he said Michael Porter had fucking died for a minute, and he had to bring him back. Isn't that awesome?
Wow. There's been a lot of reports of that. On CNN, well, not a lot, but recently they were talking about that zone, going into that zone, that best zone where several people have died, and they came back and reported what they've seen, and it's all kind of similar situations. So I don't know if that's the mind, playing tricks on you, or that's a shoot, you know. We'll find out one day.
That's the Ghetto Boys song. The mind is playing tricks on me.
How you doing, Fonzie?
I'm sweet, brother.
Yeah, I tried calling you one time, but your phone number didn't work. So I want to get you back on Wrestle Shoot.
Oh yeah, please call back. Yeah.
Yeah, don't give your number out over the air here, Daddy. But yeah, we'll figure out how to hook up. Nikki Starr can do it, or you got an email or something. I'm gonna.
Okay, hey, RVD, can I give a shout out to a couple people?
Of course.
Evan, he lives in Atlanta. He loves your show. I met him in Charlotte at Greg Price's shows. Great guy. He loves the entertainment that Van Dam, Fonzie, Sabu, especially those three. And he loves ECW. He's on listening to your show tonight. Also, a guy in Buffalo is a big ECW fan, Mark. But, you know, they love the show and they like what you're doing.
That's awesome. I'm going to give Fonzie, RVD, and Sabu.
RVD, motherfucker!
But I'm going to do it real slow because that's how I roll. And here's Sabu. All right. Just pretend it was quicker. Wait, come on, Sabu, motherfucker. Okay, there we go. Bam.
Sabu, motherfucker!
See, if I had an assistant, it would have went bam, bam, bam when you said it. Yep, nobody does it quite like Team Extreme, RVD, Sabu, and Fonzie. And I like to put my name first, but I always did, right?
Yeah, there's not a problem with that.
Crazy stuff with Hogan, huh? You hear that he's doing interviews now talking about he almost killed himself, Fonzie.
He was on Larry King last night, CNN, and he was talking about he's pushing his book. He's doing a couple of morning shows, and he's Larry King, and he said this is what he said pretty much word for word, that he had a gun. He was so spaced out and so freaked out and so hurt and so traumatized by what was going on with Nick, his son, got in the accident, was in jail. His wife was, all that divorce, and it wasn't normal for him. He says he had a gun to his head. He had a gun to his head, and the phone rang, and it was Muhammad Ali's daughter. And they were friends from doing that show they did. They did a reality show, some type of show, and it was just happened to be her, and her voice broke him out of that thing, and he said, "What the hell am I doing?" And bam, and he's doing great now, but said he was close.
Crazy. He just signed with TNA yesterday. I'm surprised nobody brought that up yesterday, because I certainly have been getting a lot of calls. Are you on their team? Are you on their team? And not that I'm not being talked about a whole lot, but...
Hey, I was thinking about that tonight, Fonz, right? Do you
think
there's any shot... Think about this for a second, right? And you'll probably think I'm not sure. Do you think there's any shot that Vince could have told him to sign with those guys, that then he'll take it over again like he did Turner's?
Highly, but anything's possible with Vince, but I don't think so. You know what I mean? That's, anything's possible, but I don't think so. You know what I mean?
Anything's possible if you only believe. Do you believe in magic? So, yeah, on a happier note, man, we had a great time in Portugal recently. It was our last wrestling match and festivities from overseas, and that's the new episode on RVD TV, which, by the way, Fonzie, RVD TV is totally free and awesome. We got a couple thousand new members in the last couple weeks, and it's going to grow and grow and grow, and that's what I want. I want to blow my website up. So all those episodes, free. People go sign up, and this latest one from Portugal is awesome. It's got Trevor Murdoch and Lance Cade and Joey Legend, bunch of wrestlers from Portugal and one from Amsterdam and England and whatever. I got the camera in the arenas. I got the cameras in the hotels, which are freaky, by the way. Strangest hotel room I've ever fucking been in. You'll see why if you watch the episode.
What city? What city was that in?
Well, we started in Lisbon. They call it Lisboa over there in Portugal, and I did the media. I had the camera with me right on the TV studios when I'm doing interviews and shit, radio interviews, TV interviews, plugging the shows for the weekend, and then we drove down to the beautiful beach city of Portimao, which was awesome. We were right on the beach, and that's where we wrestled. We had a couple shows, awesome fucking time. It was the last week of our last international trip. And go check it out. It's a new episode on RVD TV, and probably, in my opinion, quite probably the best episode so far. They've been getting better and better. I've been editing them myself, picking the best clips, and I really have captured a lot of fun times that we have over there. I mean, people that watch this episode, they're going to say, damn, I wish I was a wrestler, so I'd go on a wrestling trip, because we have a lot of fun. But that's...
Yeah, that was a great
That's what you can do when you don't got to worry because you got all the confidence of being the whole fucking show. You know what I mean?
That's right, Daddy.
Yeah. Dave D. Falco, are you on RVD Radio? Because I see his number here, but I don't. I tried to call him, and then I didn't think it went through, and then I see his number. One more time, Dave. Are you with us? No?
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
You are? Dave.
Me?
David DeFalco.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, man, the word chaos keeps coming up tonight. Halloween this weekend, it's your favorite time of the year, right?
Yes, it absolutely is. Yep, it's Satan's holiday and the day when the demons are at their strongest, and I'm actually feeling real good after not feeling so good for 2 months. So,
does that mean that maybe you're attracted to some positive energy instead of the negative energy?
Well, yeah, there's always, positive energy, of course.
Because you got a lot of stories. We're talking about ghost stories tonight, and you got a lot of contributing moments in your life that you could bring up if you wouldn't mind sharing one or two of how dark energy followed over you, especially when you were making chaos and cars were blowing up, people were dying, all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of what it all amounted to. I mean, I feel ever since I was a little kid, there was a dark energy around me, and I think in some ways I invited it in because, I was born on the East Coast, and, there's a lot of, with the Catholic religion and everything being so strong over there, and, there was just always that feeling that, those, even when I was a boy and didn't even understand it, but knew that it was around me, but it all seemed to, come to a head as an adult and making that movie. And it's funny because Stephen Bernheim, the producer, kind of refers to what happened during Chaos as a manifestation, meaning that,
Meaning that you brought it about by what you were creating?
Well, maybe. A manifestation, I mean, we did not set out to do something like that wicked and something that, really we believe maybe attracted real dark energy. I mean, I know it might sound crazy to some people, but, if you were directly involved with the project and realized the things that went on, and I can tell you just a few of the strange things that happened during the making of that movie. One of them was the producer ordered this Ferrari that literally took him a year to get. And this thing, it was he got it from Italy, and, it was a brand new car, basically, and they had it shipped over. It took them 1 year to get it. So it shows up right in the middle of when we're shooting Chaos. And I'll never forget, he brought it down the set, showing off, motherfucker, the guy's got a brand new Ferrari, whatever. So the next day, we're at the offices at Universal, getting ready to go in for a night shoot out in the woods for Chaos. And Bernie, I hear him he buzzes me, and he's like, David, get into my office immediately. So I run into his office. I'm like, what's wrong? Where's the fire? And he tells me that that afternoon, the guy that takes care of his cars, they brought it in for a tune-up. The car was perfect. They gave it A+. He drives the car out, is driving it back to Bernie's house to park it, and all of a sudden the thing starts on fire out of nowhere. So the thing's burning, and he couldn't put it out. So we used to call the fire department. They come down, and they couldn't put it out. So they had to let the thing burn up. And this was a $300,000 Ferrari. They had to let it, like, run its course. And finally, I guess they got control of it. So Bernie is like, look, he's like furious. He goes, I think this has something to do with the movie. And I go, we can't be sure of that. I mean, yeah, but well, look at the coincidence. The car comes right, we're in the middle of shooting, and it's a brand new car, and it's fire, which is, of course, associated with the devil. So I said, well, let's not jump to conclusions. Let me do a little investigating and, see for myself if I can see any direct evidence. So we go down to the shop where they towed the car to in North Hollywood, and so I'm looking at it, and it's all charred up, and I'm looking for any evidence of, possible, dark activity. And sure enough, right before my eyes, I look at the license plate, and the plate, now keep in mind, this plate, his assistant, the same guy that drove the car back from the shop, got for him because Bernie, doesn't involve himself with that stuff. So somebody else had got him the plate, and it was a Nevada plate, and it had 3 letters, and then it had 999. And I'm like, oh my God, what a fucking coincidence. And so I go, Bernie, come here. And he saw it, and he looks at it, right? And his eyes, I saw his eyes, grow wide, because the 3 6s have been something that's plagued him, actually, for quite some time. And he is also a believer and had now has had many of his own experiences with the dark forces. But it was funny because he goes, George, get over here, the guy that got him the plate. And he goes, how could you get me a plate like this? Didn't you see this? And George looks at it. He goes, what? It's 3 letters and 999. What's the big deal? I go, no, George, that's the 3 6s. And he goes, well, what do you mean? I go, would you be able to see it easier if the car was upside down? I mean, totally freaked us out and pretty much, confirmed to me that, that was related to some other dark energy that was undoubtedly, around us during the making of Chaos. But I think the biggest and craziest thing that happened, and, since when we were shooting Chaos, I had already, been making movies for years. I started in '96. And we shot Chaos in 2002, so I've been on many movie sets. And during the making of Chaos, we had a third partner who was basically the head of our distribution, is a guy named Dwight Krisman. And this guy, way more conservative than me and Bernie, really, a real, basically, more involved with the business of film as opposed to creative like myself and even Bernie. So he was basically at the studio while we were making the movie, and I'll never forget, we got done with the filming, go back to the studio, and Dwight's gone. No sign of him anywhere. So I tried to get him on a cell phone. Cell phone was filled, and nobody knew where he was. And then out of nowhere, we finally get a call, and it turns out he's in prison. He got arrested for murdering his wife while we were shooting the most brutal film of all time. And he's been in jail ever since.
That is a pretty big one.
Yeah, well, the odds of, let's face it, I mean, the odds of a murder happening while we're making this movie about brutal murder, I mean, it was pretty staggering. And
right, we're gonna come right back to those odds, Dave, because I want to say real hi to my beautiful co-host. What's up, baby?
Hi, baby. RVD, motherfucker.
That's right, Daddy.
Yeah, got Triple D and Fonzie on the line, and Bobby B, Harry Slash, having a good show tonight.
Nice, oh my friend. Cool. How's everybody doing?
Hey, SVD, how are you?
Hey, SVD.
Hey, I'm doing good.
Chicken Princess, sweet.
Got Michael Porter and Nikki Heyman and Tempest. Have I talked to Tempest? He called back. I should take some
Puppy have pepper?
Yeah.
Michael Porter's pepper have puppies?
Wait a second. I guess I got to take him off mute if we're really going to be calling him out. Michael Porter, say hi to SVD.
Hello, SVD. How are you?
Good, thank
Doing well. Doing well.
Awesome. He had a great story for us, baby. We're talking about ghost stories. It's Halloween. Guess what I found out today by doing ghost stories?
Well, it is Halloween, so it is the season.
I found out that we've already been doing this for a whole year, and we did this last year on Halloween.
Really?
Yeah. Nikki Starr told me that, because I said, man, this sounds familiar. I remember sharing that I grew up in a haunted house and stuff, and Nikki Starr said, that's what we've been on for a year. I didn't know that. Aren't we supposed to have, like, year-end memories and favorite moments and shit like that? I guess we'll do that at the end of the year. By the way, Nikki Starr, say hi to SVD.
Hi, SVD.
Hi, Nikki. Yeah, baby,
I miss you.
It's supposed to be the clip show. Oh, I miss you.
I know, right? Wait, baby, I have something to say to you. Are you ready? Para español, el primo número 2.
Your Spanish is first, number 2?
No, yeah. Hey, how do you know that? Para español, el primo número 2.
There you go. All right. Hey, baby, are you getting close to the hill where you lose reception?
Yeah, I've turned around. I'm headed back down the hill so I can keep reception.
Okay. Dave's on the line, Dave DeFalco, and he's telling us about all this crazy energy that was with him when he was making the movie Chaos, which you are...
Dave is crazy, so Dave is crazy energy. Let's just keep that into consideration.
That's the law of attraction, Dave.
Can't deny SVD on that one, you know. But, you know what's funny? It was never anything I really asked for. It just seems like it seeked me out. Or maybe actually, you know, when I was a kid, for whatever reason, I did kind of have a dark fascination for, you know, horror and even the devil and the dark side from when I was a little kid. But it's obviously...
That's right, Daddy.
A lot different now as an adult, and, you know, having been through the many strange things I've been through, you know, topping
That's
off
right, Daddy.
Chaos. So, but the biggest thing.
He'll talk about himself for 10 minutes.
Well,
no, we're talking about the dark side, not me. I mean, it's.
Let me bring this up. I probably might have mentioned this last time, but it's very relevant. Do you remember, baby, when Becky's mom called and said there's something in the house that's new and that needs to be moved because it's got bad energy and it's keeping you from healing? And this was after, I think, you were going through chemo. It was sometime around that.
How can I forget?
I know, but share that with everybody. I know you remember, but I'm just saying so everybody can... Well, I know, but I don't know if we've told everybody, but it was amazing because Becky's mom, the psychic, called us. She's never been in our house, and she said, there's this, I got to tell you, there's this item. There's this...
What was that item?
What, baby?
I've never met this woman. She's just my friend's mother, and she only knows me through conversations she's had with her daughter.
Wow, you never even met her. That's awesome. No, hey, do you want to come up the hill to close the show?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, I'll see you in a minute.
Hey, Rob, so what was that object ended up? Do you know where that came from?
Yes, I do, Dave. It had a bunch of negative energy to it. The lady told us exactly where it was, like right off to the right of our attention where we focus in the living room, which, of course, is the television. And it was a tiny little statue that was given to us as a gift from writer, producer, director David DeFalco.
Are you serious?
Yes. She told me get that out of the house. She said go put it in the garage.
You know, that's got to go in. It was the little statue I gave her when she was in the hospital?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was Dave's statue because it was a religious statue. And I was like, no, I don't think it's that. And she's like, no, I described it. That's exactly what it is.
Did she even go so far as to say, like, how big it was?
Yeah.
How did she describe it?
Wow. She said it was like a little statue and it had something pointed on it. And I thought, well, maybe it was the Eiffel Tower that we had there because they were sitting right next to each other. And I said, well, is it the Eiffel Tower? She said, no, it's not the Eiffel Tower. This is like, well, there's something that resembles that, but it's a religious statuette, and I never thought that it would have negative energies with it because it was a religious
But that's how the dark forces work. Like what you least expect is when they, that from my experience of it, that's how that works. But that's extremely significant because, unfortunately, once, and again, like in my circle, once you're exposed, that kind of answers a lot of questions. And one of these days, Rob, like there's some things that like I have theories about with the dark forces that involve me, you, and even Sonia, and like I've never really told them to you because, it's
that's that whole kind of threesome.
but unfortunately, the way it works is, it comes into your life. It can come into anybody's life for any reason, but usually there's a significant.
Well, what's wrong with sharing your bed?
And you just gotta, kind of make the best of it and try to understand it and not rub it the wrong way. That's what's I've always tried to do. What's that?
What, baby?
I said again, not my kind of threesome.
There's nothing like that.
Oh my God, that was a good one.
Right, ladies, feel free to look into that all you'd like.
Wow,
Dave, am I correct in my understanding that when we did Wrong Side of Town, you had sidelined this other movie because you wanted to get away from that energy, right?
Well, right. Yeah, I had originally was making a lot of headway with doing the follow-up to Chaos, which
was an awesome script. Like, I honestly, that's probably one of my favorite scripts I've ever read. I just really, when I read it, I was like, wow, it had so many elements, and it was, I don't know, it was just really good.
Well, the thing about it that was compelling, don't forget, is that that script, it came directly from 100% real information with very little changes. I really tried to keep it, exactly authentic that the L.A. County coroner gave me about his experiences, his own experiences with the dark forces, and his experiences, related to the coroner's office where, the dark energy is at an all-time peak, and some of the stuff that he was telling me and the theories that he had conjectured from what he was seeing from the most brutal homicides in Los Angeles just blew my mind. And I said, oh my God. I said, we gotta, at the very least, this would be a great horror movie. But see, the thing is I believe that contains real information about the dark forces and how they operated. So yes, there's always been this constant struggle between, I guess, the good energy and the bad energy. And yeah, you were directly responsible for sidelining that movie because I literally, put all this effort into doing Wrong Side and the series of movies with you guys and put Devil's Doorway on the side. And it's very possible, there'd be ramifications from that on another side. And again, a lot of this is hard to even know and explain, like, what would ever happen. But the bottom line is, I believe those energies exist, and there could have been repercussions, absolutely.
Right, yeah, and the script, I doubt that you buried the script and poured cement over top of it and shit. There's a chance it may come back to still haunt because,
of course.
Yeah, it still is a hell of an essence by itself. But I knew you'd be a perfect guest for tonight for talking about this shit. Let me go through some callers before the end of the show. Mr. Tap-Ass motherfucker, what up?
Yo, what up? How's things west side?
Oh, dude, for some reason tonight, certain callers call and they got that staticky. You hear that static on them, Fonzie?
Yeah.
I haven't got that, have I?
That's how Fonzie sounded and Bruce Jingles, and yeah.
I had to call right back.
We're gonna try to hang with you, Mr. Tap-Ass, but no guarantees.
Okay. Alrighty then. Well, I got a story to share.
Okay.
All right. I once knew this guy called Vince McMahon, and I watched him go up into this limousine, and it blew up. And it's really creepy because I keep seeing him on Monday Night Raw every week, and nobody believes me. Bullshit.
That's
where you play I Don't Give a Fuck.
RVD, motherfucker!
No,
I'm not taking credit for Mr. Tapass's joke. It was just easier to hit.
What I wanted to share was all this talk about energies. Now, I have to say I'm not a believer in ghosts because I'm stubborn. I believe in what I see, and I haven't seen a ghost, so I can't.
Well, of all the names.
However, living in Florida, I live in Panama City. Right next to Panama City, there's a small town called Weewahitchka, and my wife tells me it's a very old Indian town. And we've only been out there once or twice. And the second time we were going
was it once or twice?
Well, we've only been out there 2 times, but my experience was on the second time out there.
Okay, that's cool, man. Be honest and forward with us. That's cool. That's what we want.
Okay. Well, the second time we're driving out there, and now, like I say, I'm not a believer in ghosts, and we're going out there, and I'm just like, I'm starting to get chills. Now, this is a small town. There's like one of everything. There's like one gas station, one church.
Should wear a sweater.
Store. I'm sorry?
You should wear a sweater. You getting the chills?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm just sensing stuff, and this is not like me. I'm not spiritual, and I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm just getting these chills going down my spine. I'm like, what is going on?
That's right, Daddy.
The deeper we drove into this town, I started getting these feelings, these senses of like sadness and fear, and there was like a small kind of pressure. The best way I can describe it, it felt like a small pressure coming down my chest. I'm like, there is something about this town, and like I said, turn the fuck around. I was like, we're getting out of here, you know. So we got out there. I started talking to people about it afterwards, and there's people, friends of mine, that said, yeah, they felt the same kind of feelings when they drove out there, and they said they can't explain it, but all they can tell me is old Indian land. And that's when I personally started to believe in positive and negative energy. I remember there was one time I wrote to you on your MySpace about it and said, you know, what can you recommend me? And you wrote to me about the Celestine Prophecy, and I got that book. I haven't finished it yet, but it's revealing a lot of stuff to me. And so I still can't say I believe in ghosts, but I'm believing there's something there. There's an afterlife.
Right. All right, Mr. Tapass. That's about all the crackling we can take. It's a horrible connection, but we do appreciate your story. We hung with it, and it's a good one. And yeah, the Celestine Prophecy is an excellent book. I also always recommend The Secret. One of the motivators from The Secret, James Arthur Ray, friend to Hogan and Bischoff, by the way, and Muhammad Ali's daughter, because he has a church spiritual agape here in L.A., in some hot water, facing homicidal charges because 3 people died in the sweat lodge that he had.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, so that's in the news. All right, so at RobVanDam.com, I have a poll, and I'll have it up all week. Do you believe in ghosts? So far, 100% of people on there say yes. We have had a few people call in, you know, that aren't so sure. They're not believers. They don't believe. I think we just heard from one that he doesn't normally believe it. But go to RobVanDam.com and put that in. And I'm getting a phone call that I can't answer on my cell phone. And also, if you have any questions, go to the forums and post me questions at RobVanDam.com because I do read them and do answer them. So, boom. Dave, let me ask you this question. That statue that you gave us, was that wasn't like Archangel Michael, was it?
That I'm not sure. I mean, I had picked up a bunch of those when actually the reason I actually had them is whenever I get like, you know, really sick or, you know, or something happens to me that affects me physically, for some reason, like I tend to get a little more like the religious part of me because I was brought up a strict Catholic, and
right.
So I had bought a bunch of those. I mean, at one point, I don't know if you remember, but it was a few years back. I got that bad like skin rash from the gym, and they couldn't figure it out. Remember, it was like driving me bananas. It was months, and I was going out of my mind. I don't know if you remember, but you know, it was really starting to drive me crazy. And I was, you know, when I get pretty crazy when physical things like that happen to me. So
yes, you do. Hi, baby. Sonia just got here. Yes. How can we forget the rash? And she says you're neurotic.
Well, she's right. So I'm like, again, I can't argue with the missus. But what I did
argue with me. You're just going to be wrong.
So the reason, though, that I asked about the Archangel Michael is just something that I can't shake out of my mind. Like what I mentioned earlier. I don't even know why I mentioned this. It didn't even have anything to do with the story. Well, it always does somehow. It's all connected.
No,
We're all
it could have been. I'm not sure.
No, but listen, here's something, Dave. I mentioned earlier that when I tried yoga, what I couldn't stand about it was I know that I got a guardian angel, I got something watching me, I got a relationship with that guidance, that divine connection. I'm cool with that. I don't need somebody putting boundaries and perimeters on it. This lady, she was naming it, and it didn't feel right. She was like, okay, now close your eyes and feel the presence of Archangel Michael watching over you. And it bothered me because I'm like, how the hell could this bitch know that Archangel Michael, whoever that is over me? Right. But what I can't get out of my mind right now is what if that fucking statue that you gave us that was in our house that had that energy, what if that was Archangel Michael?
Did you guys throw that statue away?
I believe I did. I put it out in the garage for a while, and I believe that actually I think I hauled it off with some Goodwill stuff. So
that's too bad because we could have, if you had it, we could have deciphered if it was or wasn't. But that's, I agree with you in that sense. Like, I don't believe that, like, you can define it to that degree because, again, we don't know, like, what the good energy, God or all this. Like, there's no...
It's all unknown.
No, it's all unknown, and what I think we all can agree on is that there's positive and negative energy, and however that manifests, whether it's demons or energy or something we don't even know.
Billy B from Mississippi, you think we can agree on that?
No, man, that sounds fucking crazy talk.
There you go, Dave.
Well, to some I'm sure it would.
The whole Catholic religion's just so dark living, man. It's so crazy. They believe in you're gonna be bad your entire life, so you have to watch out for demons and ghosts and all this kind of shit. Ghosts are bullshit. That's some kind of, like, vision you create in your mind of fear and all these other things combined.
So you don't think that, like, a living presence can leave behind, like, a residual energy that other people can possibly still feel or somehow sense?
Not at all. That's just your emotions, like, deep-seated inside of you going, I miss this person.
So do you believe that there's even a soul or a spirit inside of you, or do you think that you're basically just flesh, and when you die, wham, the whole thing is gone, you're dead?
I'm kind of in between it because if that's true, then when my dogs die, they're going to go to heaven. When I kill a fly, it goes to heaven or it goes to hell.
Well, yeah, but all this talk, like, Rob, all the questions you were asking him, no matter what he believes, he could tell you, yeah, I believe, the dog's going to be in here. You know what?
We don't know.
The answer is no, and there's no way of ever proving that. So it's, you know what I mean? So it's all...
Of course, I agree 100%.
Yeah. So how can you
100%. It's interesting to see what different people believe in, but I know that none of us know. Same thing when it comes to worshiping Jesus or
the Bible, the words of the Bible. The words of every religion. It's all or who the reincarnation. All of it. There's no living shred of evidence, nor could somebody produce evidence if their life depended on it. So basically, what is it? Well, it's talk. It's
right. So, but certain people, of us are spiritually inclined, and we seem to be drawn to and have a relationship with that spiritually unknown. I'm very comfortable saying it's unknown, and it always probably will be unknown, even if I can grow that relationship a little bit. That'll be like a big thrill for me. Some people do not have that connection at all. I'm thinking maybe Billy B might be one of those people.
Yeah, you know what, Rob? After listening to what you just said, I think you really get it. You really get it, and I can see why, there's been greater connections because, what you just said, I agree with 100%.
Billy B, I'm guessing you don't have any ghost stories to share with us.
I really love the movie Ghostbusters. Not the second one. I really love Ghostbusters. Not the second one, but the first one.
You know what's funny is whatever year that was, like 81, whatever, I was so young. I remember that was my first and I think only shirt that showed my midriff. Like that was real popular for like one summer, like where boys would wear shirts that like only covered their chest and their stomachs would hang out. I had a
Daddy.
shirt like that. I thought it was so cool.
Hilarious. I think I've seen pictures of you in that shirt.
I wouldn't be surprised. What about a scary movie, real quick, Billy B, before we move on? What's your favorite scary movie? Do you have one?
This new movie, Paranormal Activity, is really scary.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Is that the one that was shot out on a budget of $15,000?
Yes,
it is.
And you
I've heard it.
Brilliant.
I guess
You can't eat chips and be on the radio, baby. That's not allowed. But I think my favorite scary movie is 28 Weeks Later. The second one, not the first one.
Yeah, I agree. Real good. Yeah. Oh, the one I showed you over here, Sonia, remember?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
That got me hooked on a scary movie kick because I don't like scary movies and I hadn't watched them in years.
Right. I remember
and after I watched that one, then I had to give in and I went and I saw Saws and all that kind of stuff. So.
Do you think that it was even scarier maybe because we were at Dave's house?
Yeah.
Speaking of Saw, that guy's making a lot of money. He was in Black Mass 2 with us. He was the bad guy. Obviously wasn't making much, it wasn't a huge production there. Boom, I guess, got a meeting, an audition, whatever. Saw was huge, sequel. I mean, he's got to be making some bank off that now, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. He's typecast as a bad dude.
Dave, he's starring in it and he shows his face. You've always said Andrew Bernarski doesn't show his face in Leather Mask, and Tyler Mane doesn't show his face because he's got a mask, but this guy shows his ugly mug. He's getting paid, right?
Well, he was in the newest Saw, Andrew?
All of them. He's the
he's in all?
Saw.
I didn't know that.
Well, the guy, no, I'm saying this guy, Topher, what's his name, baby?
I don't know.
Tobin Bell.
Not Topher, great. Tobin. Anyway, the guy, he was in Black Mass 2 with us. I'm just saying, he's the bad guy in all of the Saws. I don't think it showed his face in the first one. Maybe it did at the end. I don't know. But he's totally, like, people know when they see his face. Ooh, that's Jigsaw. He's scary looking anyway.
Yeah, because now that franchise, has its fans, and so people, they'll seek out, like, just like everybody knows Kane Hodder is Jason from Friday you know what I mean? Like a lot of people know that, and even though you a lot of times never saw his face, the fans will always get that info.
So they get paid for it, right?
Yeah, who gets paid?
What's his ass, Tobin?
Well, yeah, of course he's getting paid. I mean, he's not making what Brad Pitt's making, but he's, it's sure he's.
Those are huge movies, though. Well, if nothing else, he can be at the Fangora convention and he gets signed an autograph.
Rob, the thing is, though, they don't, apart like that, like if he was the one that was, in other words, if he was the one that was bringing people into those movies, he'd be getting paid the big bucks. But when you're playing a role like that, like theoretically, if they had to replace him, they could do it, and it's not going to hurt the Saw franchise. So he'd never be able to command a huge salary, from that kind of a role. That's just how the business works.
Well, fuck him.
Yeah.
He ain't on RVD radio, but Matt Denton from the UK is. What up, Matt?
What's up, Matt Denton?
Whoa. Hello, guys. Hello again for the second time tonight.
Guys, wow, that sounded so American.
Dude, hey, did we talk to you earlier?
Yeah, we did, but I've just become a believer in the spirit.
Oh, nice. Is that because you heard the phone haunted earlier? Because we figured out I just had Tommy Rogers on conference after I hung up. It wasn't an actual haunting like I thought.
No, it's not that. Seriously.
What's, share your story. We're close.
Actually, I'll try and be quick. Basically, before I was born, my uncle died in my back garden.
Make it quicker. I got less than a minute to go.
In a freak lawnmower accident. Apparently, the electric spark blew the plug halfway across the room. He died from electric shock. And I got a few years after I was born, I had souls. Jesus Christ.
I don't know who's snoring on Matt's fucking story, man. Matt just became a believer tonight during the RVD radio show. And we want to hear shit, but they're closing up, man. I got a time them, and then they cut me off. So I got to get this in. I got to thank my man Fonzie Daddy for coming on tonight. Thank you so much, Fonzie. And Tommy Rogers.
RVD, I love being on the show. Houdini's coming around Halloween night. Every Houdini.
Hell yeah, man. By the way, they do a seance. They should do a seance up at the, what's that hotel called? Okay, watch the count, baby. Don't let me miss it. Anyway, and also Tommy Rogers, and who else was on the show?
Officer X.
All our regulars. And
Harry Slash.
David
the producer.
Anytime, RVD.
All right, cool, man. So thanks, everybody. It was another good call. Have a happy Halloween, and fucking be safe, and do what you do. We're out. Say bye, baby.
Bye, baby. Feliz Halloween.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Intimidator! Intimidator! Impersonator! Man assassinator! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! A damn shot straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! You get down to straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I will fly high! 5-star frog splash! You can't stop me! 5-star frog splash! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! It's all about the yin and the yang, the balance, the power, the zen. You can't stop the yin and the yang, the balance, the power, the zen. Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! I will levitate, flip, kick you in the yell. I will decimate. You can prepare for